welcome to Amateur Sports Talk, where we talk all sports and sports betting. First, we'd like to remind anyone that has a gambling problem to please reach out to the National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-522-4700. Also, these are our opinions and nobody should take this as guaranteed betting advice. Please remember to help us out by rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us, and share us with your friends. Now let's get into the show. What's going on, everyone? This is Devin. We're back in studio for another Amateur Life Sports Talk episode. I think we're on episode 22 now. We got Cabby in the house.
Hello, hello.
We got Billy.
It's your boy Billy.
And we got a special guest, Jacob Ridgway, normally one of our number one fan and commenter. So,
hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
No problem. I say now you got one up on James. So,
I'm in the seat exactly. My questions will be answered no matter what.
So, we're gonna do some card giveaways again tonight. So listen for those. We got 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. We'll just do it in that order. Won't tell you what they are. We got a golf one, football one, and baseball one. So, whatever you pick when we do that, I will see what one you win, and then we'll figure out how to get it to you. I guess we'll start right off with football since there's not a ton going on. Did anyone see the XFL is partnering up with the NFL?
I did see that actually.
To I think test out like new equipment ideas and then new rules,
yep.
Really?
Stuff like that. So
I think too to help with the refs too, to kind of get them some more practice.
And they need it.
Yeah.
They need it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we had talked about that before of like just like refs. It's like at that point you need to have like one crew that's like paid good money to ref all year long or something, and
right, like the
that's
big
gonna
game
be,
crew.
That's
or
gonna
something.
be your big game. So, and there's
TGC.
And you can, I'm sure you could probably do it with Trackman as well, but you can play with other people who have it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
online.
and like tournaments and stuff. Yeah.
all right. We'll just go from here. I got a backup recording going too. So, yeah.
Alright.
So, all right. Yeah, we pretty much are done with football talk. So we'll move on quick to NBA. We don't have our main NBA guys here. So all I really have was, that was crazy to have Steph. I watched the highlights of him put up 50 freaking points. Just hit 16 threes. Dude, that's going to feel so good, though. There's no you're on that hot that you can just basically throw it up from anywhere.
Dude, the funniest thing ever I saw was a picture, and it was of LeBron next to Curry. And it's like, LeBron looking at Curry right now, wishing that it was him on his team instead of Russell Westbrook. Yeah. I was like,
I've
yeah,
heard
shit.
a lot of things this last week though that they're actually like okay. Like there's not much beef between like Westbrook and AD and LeBron and all
I'm
that.
sure there's no
Right.
beef. It's just it's fucking Westbrook.
I know it's
Yeah.
but it sounds like he's going to be staying, which we all thought he was needed to leave, which he still might leave for them to succeed. But
Right.
So,
I saw another thing too when I was driving home, that it was the New York Knicks are sitting Kemba Walker for
I did
the
see that.
rest of the season.
I didn't know
That's
what
kind
that
of crazy because he was actually like insane on his legit team before he left.
yeah.
Because he was like dropping like 30 points. And then now all of a sudden they're just having so many problems with him on a team and just wanting to start. Because it was mutual between both of them.
So
See, Michael Jordan said if he was playing today, his game is like Steph Curry's. I'm like that just doesn't seem right.
Not
I mean,
correct.
it's probably because all he does now, because he's retired, instead of dunking and doing jump shot, he just sits at the 3-point line and shoots around.
his
what we
jump
do.
shot was like unbeatable, and that's what he would do all the time.
Right.
You know?
Because he could jump 100 feet in the air. So
Exactly.
nobody can block him.
Yeah. He wasn't a set up and shoot a 3 type. He was definitely the jump shot, that one dribble in, jump shot,
Right.
run the other way, play defense,
Even 2K has him set up that way. You can't shoot a 3 with him worth of shit. It's 78.
So, I got one fun fact. If the button works. Here, I'll try it again. All right. So, Kobe Bryant, a card of his just sold for $2 million. It was a rare card. They said from the 1997 to 98 Metal Universe. It was a graded 8.5 from Beckett, which is like the second highest PSA. The highest one that's ever come through PSA, which is the number 1 grading, was a 7. So this is quite a bit better, I guess, in the grading world of cards. So just sold for $2 million.
That's crazy.
I don't understand why people fucking buy that shit, dude.
That's like the Tom Brady rookie card that just sold for $3.2 million.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, I understand if you buy, like, the packs, like, oh, it's spend $20 to maybe get this fucking super rare card, but it's like, why are you spending $2 million on one fucking card?
Right.
What are you gonna do after that? Just put it up a place and say, yeah, I bought that for $2 million.
Yeah, I think most people
Think about
probably
how
buy
many
it
people
just
do
to-
that shit, though.
Yeah.
Oh, that just
Yeah,
buy
they do
random
it all
shit
the
and just
time.
display it. Yep, that's my card that I paid $2 million.
It's almost like a status thing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you're every time you walk into that person's house, he's gonna let you know that he paid $2 million for that card.
It's like the
Some people are
it's like
probably
the
hoping in
$1 million
10 years it's going to be $4 million.
Appreciates exactly.
Well, that's the one card that's like the world famous. That's like it's only like a grade 3, but it's a baseball player from like back in like
Oh.
the
Honus
20s.
Wagner,
Yeah. So it's like back when you give you a card for your cigarettes, it'd come in the cigarette pack and they'll pull out a sports card. And yeah, that's sold for like stupid amount of money. Yeah, I would have to look it up for sure.
Right.
But I want to say it's like 15 mil or something
I
like
agree.
that.
It's way up there.
So
You saying that remind me, I have a fun fact about NBA, believe it or not. So they had the 75th anniversary team that they announced at the All-Star game,
yep.
or at All-Star weekend. And I saw that the 04 Pistons, like Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, those guys were the only championship team who didn't have a player on the 75th anniversary team.
It's kind of crazy.
It's crazy. It just shows you that those guys were role players, but they got the job done. You know what I mean?
I was listening to a different podcast and they're talking about like people forget like Ben Wallace was only like 6'2", 6'3", and would play post.
Whoa.
Like people don't realize he was not tall at all, but yet could
No.
go up and play post down low, and then yet come out and play on a forward or defense just as well.
Right.
Oh, he just gets a bad rap because he couldn't ever hit a freaking free throw, but
Right.
look at Dwight Howard and Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah. Yeah, but so, he was one that that I was just like, wait, he wasn't. It's like, and I know, as the decades change, it seems like they get a little bit taller each year, so that he probably wasn't having to post up against 7-foot guys all the time. But I bet there are some dudes that were 6'9" when he's only like 6'3". It's like, what?
Right.
I saw a video talking about height that some dude, it was a center, but he's only like 6'8", because you know how like college league is. Dunked on a 7'4" fucking guy, and it's not like out of nowhere either. Like the guy got the rebound, dribbled, 7'4" dude turned, but he's 7'4", so he did a tiny little hop. He just like flicked his wrist and just got poster tossed out of the ground, dude. It was dirty.
Man, that's all I got for basketball. We'll move over.
I know it's college ball, but Juwan Howard, I know we already talked about it. But I mean, what are you guys' thoughts? Do you guys think he should be
suspended.
fired? Do you think it was the right
I
call?
think
5 games?
I think
wanna
he just
know.
wanted to get everyone talking about Michigan since they're not going to probably make the tournament. He's like, we got to hype them up somehow.
Right.
Oh,
I just want to know why he did it, because I haven't heard anything on why he did it yet.
I think it was meant to be a push, and the guy that was like holding him back or whatever, like he went to push.
Right, it was open-handed,
Yeah, it was open hand.
Right.
So and it ended up turning into kind of as he got pushed, he kind of went,
Because it
felt.
was the assistant coach that he hit, and he was
Yeah.
like, with beef with like the head coach.
Right.
So
I was gonna say, because like I kind of watched the video just for like a few seconds, and I saw it wasn't like a closed fist; it was just kind of a
Mhm.
swat. But no, I was just wondering about that because I saw somebody talking about it on like ESPN or something like that, saying how you can't let this like affect him at all.
Mhm.
It's like beef between him and the Illinois coach throughout the
Nebraska.
years, and whatever coach. And like if they make it to the tournament and gotta play him, like you can't be releasing this anger out and stuff. So I don't know.
a lot of people are saying he should be fired.
No.
That is so stupid.
No, I think
Like,
it's appropriate. 5
Yeah,
games, the
5
rest of the
games.
regular season.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you got your point across. Obviously what he did was bad, but I've seen countless Big Ten players do worse stuff. You know,
Right.
Brad
Yeah.
Davidson, I've seen him do worse stuff in games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A bunch of the other Big Ten coaches were kind of talking crap too, saying that he has beef with like everybody in the Big Ten, which is like,
Right.
okay, like,
Everyone does.
If you're competitive,
yeah,
dude, I get
exactly.
it,
I mean, you
know?
gotta remember,
Yeah.
Juwan Howard's like he played on some of the
Right.
like baddest teams. You know what I
5'8"
mean?
Tom Izzo is not going to step to
Yeah,
Juwan Howard.
yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
So
Yeah.
I mean, the way when he played, a lot different than now when he just kind of brought it to God. I'm assuming his players are all for it.
Right.
So I think
Well,
it's gonna
players
help.
are always all for fucking fighting. Are you kidding me?
All right, we'll jump over to hockey. Really don't have much going on, and there's a few trades going down, but nothing that I was really like keen on. There's some potential in the works, so I'm kind of waiting to hear to see because they're getting ready for their trade deadline to be up. So there's kind of some potentials coming up that I could see good fits for some teams, but kind of just waiting to see what happens there. Red Wings, Larkin's been hot like he's been kind of most season, so unfortunately I don't think they're gonna make playoffs this year, but they're kind of still in that rebuild. So next year, hopefully, we can rally around, and hopefully all Detroit teams will be back by next year.
All.
I doubt all of them will, but maybe a few of them.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
so
the Lions,
you
I don't
can-
even like kind of count in that
yeah, they
topic.
can't come back because they've never.
Yeah, they've never
500
been
season
there.
would be- Yeah.
So, comeback would be the other three. But I don't know, with the way Pistons have been playing, I don't really see much. But
I think you gotta give Pistons at least a few years before you can actually start seeing some type of improvement because they're all just so young right now.
Yeah.
And you gotta get those picks in there because it sounded like they're probably gonna get the number one overall pick again.
probably.
So I mean, it'll be sweet. I don't know how much talent is in the college game right now that's gonna end up hitting the draft right now.
That's true.
I mean, you only really hear about this a ton once it gets to like tourney time.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of Big Ten players that's averaging like 20, 19, 19. I saw
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so that'll make it interesting. So yeah, we'll just skip over hockey pretty much then and jump into Ridge Sport. Hitting home runs. Dang. So you got any news on this lockout?
Still going, unfortunately. They had just met a couple days ago, and it did not go well.
No.
It seems like every time they meet, it gets worse, which figure that one out.
Yeah, and there was like some, I think, hope with them actually meeting this time around. And like, oh, it might be done. And then after the meeting, it's like, yeah, no, this ain't happening.
Yeah, that went 15 minutes and we didn't get anywhere. But they just did announce that spring training's delayed until at least March 5th, which I think is a good thing. I think as soon as stuff starts getting delayed and they see the revenue they're losing from these games, that's really when things are going to get moving. So I think it's fine. I think the season won't be delayed. But
And like I was like listening to, because like a lot of the spring training and stuff, they're not playing in their own stadiums. There's a lot of teams that in a push. So it's when it starts affecting the regular season that owners are gonna be like, okay, we got to get it to an agreement here because we're losing out on money now.
right.
So
Now, are you for the players or for the league in this? Because everybody is like both sides, but one argument is they're making so much fucking money, just go play, right? And then there's the other argument is they're playing so many games, blah blah blah. They want this, and this.
Right.
well, a lot of it sounds more for like the minor league, unless
Right. Which is needed.
It
I
is,
absolutely agree.
Yeah.
I think I've been a big proponent of that.
your top single A players, like Ridge and I were talking before, is like $30K a year is all you're gonna get paid max.
Yeah.
And then it's like your base, you guys who are just barely on the team, surviving, they're playing for probably 11 or less, for a year.
Right.
$50.
Yeah, it's like when they're mowing the fields of grass just to be able to make their bills. Yeah, there's problems. I don't know.
I do look at it as like they're like so many people are looking up to them. You know what I mean? So
Right.
many like fans. I mean, baseball used to be like the number one. I mean, it's still
Right.
like close to American sport. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously football's kind of taken over and other stuff. But I mean, I look at it as they're making so much money. I look at it as kids are looking up to them. Just fucking go play. Like
Right.
deal with it. Like throughout. I mean, I guess it's harder said than done. But
Yeah, and I guess where do you put the blame, because they've been knowing that the deal, so they negotiate a deal and it's X long term. So I think this one was 10 years or something like that. It's quite a while since they've had one of these. And the contract wasn't just automatically renewed. So it's been like 10 years since they've actually sat down and negotiated a little bit. Someone was saying, and so it's like, okay, since it's been 10 years since the last time they negotiated anything, is it justified that, okay, hey, 10 years ago we were only making you X, but now we're making you this much more money as a.
very fair. Yeah.
So it's like we haven't really increased a bunch in the last 10 years. So it's like, okay, let's do something now. And I think it shows that when you have like the top paid player, like Scherzer, one of the guys representing the Players Association. It's like, okay, he's obviously fighting for the little guy. You can't get mad at him for that.
Right. No, you see these organizations with like net worths of like $5 billion with a B. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we know you got money. Just it sucks because like you said, Cavi. I mean, the players are making enough, but some of them aren't. You know what I mean? So it is kind of that balancing act.
Now, what did Soto just turn down? Didn't he turn down like a stupid amount of money for contract? Which he's gonna get paid more. I guarantee he gets more. But
yeah, it was. I want to say like $500 million.
Yeah.
It was nuts, and I don't know if he turned it down as much as the offer was on the table, and then the lockout happened, so he couldn't accept it. But yeah, it's just you hear about some of this money, and it's just ridiculous.
I thought I heard it was he actually turned that one down.
Wow.
Because, and these were a couple analysts will say they would not be surprised if he's closer to more like $700 million. And it's gonna be a long-term contract. Now you're talking probably 10, 13-year type of contract, but and I don't know. I just don't. He's a good player and everything, but I don't know if he's that good.
Right. These young kids, it's crazy in baseball. Like, you're 22, 23, and then you get these massive contracts.
Yeah. Good on him if he does get more money if he turned it down, but if you don't, it's kind of shitty.
Right. Bet on yourself to a certain point, but $500 million, I think I'd be taking it,
Yeah.
you know?
I'd fucking take like
$100K. Maybe more than what I'm making now. Yeah,
no shit.
I'll do whatever.
Yeah. So,
I got a lot of feelings about it.
So what's your thoughts on Tigers this year?
Tigers, I think I've said it in the chat a couple episodes this season. Book it for next season. They'll make the playoffs. I think they'll push for it this year, like a wild card contender. I don't think they'll make it, but they'll be right around 500. They're super solid. They had a good foundation last year. They've got a couple kids coming up: Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson. Their pitching staff's going to be a lot better this year. I think they're going to shock some people. I think they're the closest team in Detroit to actually like being decent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the Wings are right behind them. So.
I feel like it's always been like that, though.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
what was
Baseball's
it?
always been our best
Was it
bet.
7 years ago or whatever when they?
I would say
2014,
I don't know, it'd be-
2015, they were really good.
Yeah. So-
I would say I would almost put for Detroit sports Red Wings as number one
Mhm.
because they had a streak, the longest streak in the NHL of like 23 years of straight making playoffs.
Right.
And several cup appearances in that time frame and couple, I think 2 or 3 cup wins in that 23 years, if not more. So I would say for Detroit sports as a whole, Red Wings, Tigers, and then Pistons and Lions.
Justin Verlander's brother's up this year, right? On the
Ben
pitching.
Verlander?
I think he's on the pitching. Like
He doesn't pitch.
he doesn't
Mm.
outfield, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, because last year he was minors, right?
Mhm.
No, I think I saw something. He's up this year, but
Yeah, I
could
didn't
be
know he was
wrong.
still playing. I thought he was more like an analyst now, but
I don't know.
he was a stud. He played for
Honestly, I don't know if
for a
he's
while.
even good, but just that name.
He's funny on Twitter. Yeah, yeah. You hear Verlander, and you
Yeah.
get excited in Detroit for sure.
Yeah, I know there was some rumors for a little bit of talking of Verlander coming back.
Right. Yeah, just on a 1-year deal. Why not? You know what I mean? Especially if you're going to be done, kind of like a farewell tour. But
Yeah.
Detroit's got the money. I can't believe. I like the Baez signing, just because he was a Cub and I know who he is. But just spend the money. You got it. You know?
Now, did you ever hear about how they wanted to do one stadium for all of them? Because isn't it the Izzos, or what? Not Izzos. Who is it?
Fords.
Not the Fords won itself, Lions.
Mhm.
Because who is it that owns all three right now? Ishes or something like that. It's the founders of Little Caesars.
Oh,
Basically,
yes.
it was their parents, and now it's like all the kids each own like one of the sports teams. Basically,
Wow.
is how it works out. But they wanted to buy, the family as a whole wanted to buy Lions and build. They're called the Detroit Coliseum, and they wanted to put all sports under one roof.
That'd be
Honestly,
interesting.
that'd be pretty cool.
It
I
would
mean,
be
in
cool,
April,
but-
3 of them are playing. It'd be
It'd
so
probably
hard.
be
Uh,
very expensive.
Right.
Because
don't know.
like they were talking like the size of I don't know if you've ever been to Little Caesars Arena, but they were talking it was gonna be like 4 times that size.
I was gonna
to
say,
do it.
Like, who was it? The Oakland Raiders, when they were in Oakland, and the Oakland Athletics played at the same place, and just I don't know, having infield dirt on your football field looks terrible. So I
Yeah.
don't think I'd like it, but I'm sure it'd be turf at that point.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah, I'd be interested to see because they were saying like it was gonna be basically big enough that they could have 3 sports going at once.
Whoa.
all at one time
So it's
playing.
like their own town. Literally.
Basically,
That's what I kind of figured they'd do. That's kind of what you have to do.
At that
well,
point.
like Little
That'd be
Caesars,
cool,
it's basically
but-
its own town already because there's all the restaurants that are open that you can walk into. You just can't go into the
I don't-
stadium part side.
I don't
But
think it would do well.
Why would you compete with your own teams? Exactly.
Right, exactly, and like, it's just
what
the
if?
ticket prices?
So
are gonna
think about when you
race
guys
through
go
the
do
roof.
your
Okay, for
three-
3 games at
Right, and
once.
it's maybe if every sport is winning championships after championships, it would work.
Right.
But we're not in Detroit. I mean, they're getting a lot better, but they don't have a great reputation.
I don't know for how
And-
much Lions tickets go for most of the time.
Yeah, but it doesn't even compare to like what Patriots tickets will go for. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, yeah, but
So I don't think it would do well. It would be absolutely incredible.
but yeah, they were talking of like this thing would be the original idea behind it all. It'd probably be one of the biggest. It'd be like they were comparing it to like the Mall of America, like type
Okay.
of size.
And this was talked
Nice.
before Little Caesars was built.
Yeah, this was
So-
before Little Caesars was even thought of. They had approached just to see because they had like this dream idea of, putting all of them under one roof, and I just that would be, I don't know, it'd be sick just because it would be a sight to see for any sports fan.
Right.
You're gonna want to go to Detroit just to see this, just for the experience. But like you think about it, if they did, I think when you guys go to 3 games and over the weekend, it's like, wouldn't that be sick to be able to like start in the morning at like a baseball game? That baseball game just wrapped up. You go grab some food and then you walk over and then you get into the Lions. Or if they take off or hockey's going on or whatever, just whatever next sport's going. Just
I mean, at that fucking rate, you might as well put a goddamn hotel
Yeah, I
in
was
there,
just gonna say
too.
stadium.
well, they were talking. Like you think of like I think there's like what'd they say? There's like 25 restaurants inside of Little Caesars, something like it. I think that's including like kind of vendor stands too and stuff like that. But there's like 25 total,
Little Caesars
if not
is
more.
sweet.
But they were like talking like double that. They were talking they didn't have ideas yet, but they had thought about either putting a casino inside there or just next door, or so you could stay at the stadium. Hotel is right in there. There, you could have your restaurants right there. Walk basically across the street and go to a casino. Well, depending probably on where you stayed, because you'd have to walk
20
six city blocks to be able to get outside of the stadium. If it's on the other side of the stadium you're staying, but no, it was like the original idea behind it was they called it like Detroit Coliseum, and they wanted to put all sports and basically like I guess the way I picture it, I guess they never really did up plans for it all because like I said, Fords wouldn't even consider selling. I think it was like football field, baseball field, and then hockey. Like kind of the 3 because the hockey and basketball, they can interchange that. They flip those in a day, so. That's like, I really want Tigers to make it to playoffs this year, just so that way we can try to hit all 4. Now it'd be preseason for basketball and hockey, because they finish, both those teams start one weekend and after the regular season of baseball ends. So I'm like beginning of October, kind of like when regular season ends, end of September there, and beginning of October is kind of when preseason kicks off for basketball and hockey. Hey, it's like we could almost catch all 4 teams if Tigers make playoffs.
Yeah. Like I said, next year, I almost put a lock on it. This year, they'll be close.
No.
They'll surprise some people.
So, all right.
Got anything else?
If they did,
No,
do
the
that,
lockout was the big news. Nothing really besides that. Hoping it's.
Well, I know what I want to see for
What?
baseball. College baseball becoming more popular.
True. Put it on TV. I watch it every day.
love
Oh,
College
what do you think
West
about
of
the
North
universal
Carolina.
DH?
It's fine. It's whatever, I guess.
I guess, do you have any changes you'd like to see to baseball to make it more exciting, bring in some new fans?
That is a good question. That's where it gets
'Cause
tough because
that-
it's such an old game.
Yeah, that's
You know what I
the
mean?
big controversy is, how much do we change to, bring in that new clientele, the new fan,
Right.
and versus your old classic, because you're going to push some of those guys out with change.
Sure.
And you probably push out a lot of your guys.
It's
Well,
the same thing that's going on in golf right now. How do we change golf, right?
Right.
We're adding the younger generation, more laid back, more fun. But baseball's kind of the same way. We have this picture of what it's supposed to be,
Right.
and people love it for what it is. Should we change it or should we not? Which I don't know how they would.
Right. And I
But
think it's
I
funny
think
that
they
you-
should try.
And it's funny that you compared it to golf because I think they both have kind of the same issue with pace of play, right?
Exactly.
It takes so
So
long.
long.
It's like I'll sit through 9 innings, and if you're there, it's totally different. I think
Right,
it's pretty
right.
exciting.
Yep.
I might be a little biased, but watching it on TV, I agree.
Yeah.
It does get kind of monotonous. So
yeah, you turn it
TV's
on,
boring.
you turn baseball on, you might watch the first couple innings, and then you get up and start doing something.
Right.
And then you come back for the last 3 innings or something. You know, it's kind of how I, that 7th inning stretch when that hits, it's kind of like, all right, I'm gonna sit down and watch the rest of the game and see what happens.
Right.
Unless it's a blowout one way or the other, and then it's like, I'll just kind of turn this off.
Right.
Or you're
So-
just sitting there getting drunk.
I just have no idea how they would change it though.
Right. I
Just
mean,
can't even think of any ideas.
Yeah.
how are you going to speed up a
Cricket.
game? Robot
Yeah.
umpires, but at that time, I think that would turn more people away than it would bring on. So.
Yeah. I think you lose that. I don't know. Some of the pitchers, it's like most pitchers do pretty good, but some are like, okay, this pitcher's gonna be in, and it's gonna be like,
I think they do have like a time now.
They
don't
do now. Yes. Yep.
they do now.
They do. So it's still.
'Cause I remember
Yeah,
some I was
yeah.
watching that were like, he'd adjust his hat, pull his glove off, wipe
Right.
his hand, put his glove back. It's like, dude, you don't need to do all that.
Right.
And that's like the batters, the pitcher would do all that, and then the batter would step out and readjust his gloves
Yeah.
because the pitcher just took that long. So now the pitcher restarts his hole. It's like, okay, we just waited 3 minutes for that pitch, and there's a
It's
ball.
This might
What?
sound stupid, but the only thing I can think of is I like the 2 7-inning games, or like double headers, 2
Yeah,
6-inning
I did
games.
like that too.
Like fans are gonna go to both games either way.
Right.
If some need to leave, great. You know what I mean. They're
Right.
most are gonna stay for both. But if they have to leave, some can go to one game, some can go to the other. And I think
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know how you would do ticket sales like that. I expect you to sell as you're
It'd
going
be
to
tough.
both games, and then you get half your money back or whatever if you only watch one.
well then
Or you can just sell
So ticket
separate
prices will-
tickets.
Sell them as singles, but give them a deal if they do buy 2.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I think
But
I like that
but
idea, yeah.
do you
Cut
clear
down travel, too.
do you
Mhm.
clear out the whole stadium after the first one?
Ooh, that
If
would
you only bought a single, how do you
True.
keep the guys from buying a single for the first game and then just staying for the second one without? I mean, technology getting fancy enough where they can just know that, hey, you're still
Right.
at the stadium.
Right.
yeah.
But I would almost do it as like a more like with dirt bike racing, that's how you do it. You pay for the whole weekend when you get there,
Yeah.
and then if you leave Saturday night before midnight,
Mhm.
you get your money back,
Whoa, really?
like for the
The next
Sunday,
day,
yeah,
sure.
for the next day. So that'd be like technically you buy for both games.
Mhm.
If you leave as you walk out, you just have someone that would be like collecting tickets for someone who maybe bought that single for the last game,
Mhm.
and you just here's your money back.
Got ya.
Baseball
No.
typically still does 3-game series, right?
Yep. 3 or 5 is
Yeah.
usually. Yep.
So I think they either do 2-game series or 4-game series.
Right.
Cuts back on a lot of travel dates for them. It helps fans. I don't know. That's not
Yeah,
an
like
option I-
maybe have like a single game Saturday and then a doubleheader Sunday,
Yeah,
just to get it
so-
wrapped up. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea. I think this. That would speed up the game overall
Mhm.
of being only 7 innings.
And I don't think it's gonna affect
Because
viewership.
like we were just talking, you watch like probably the first 3 innings, you get up, start doing something, come back in the 7th. Well, there's
6 innings.
6
right there,
innings
yeah.
itself. Why would you not just sit for one more inning?
Right.
So, I don't know.
But then at the same time, if we're saying that people can't handle 9 innings in a day, why are we saying they can handle?
Well, that's
14,
why
right?
they get the option though.
Right, but I'm saying viewership on TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're gonna do. I don't know. I think you're gonna do
It's
well
not-
on one game and then maybe not the other.
Sure,
You know what
sure.
I mean?
Yeah, it would.
So
And I guess nowadays everything's going streaming.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really run off the numbers of what, because that's like I'm waiting for the MLB season to start because we're splitting between the 3 of us so we all can log into it. But
Nice.
we're gonna split the MLB season pass so we watch every single game.
Right.
I mean, other than our local stupid channels, that whole stupid thing. But
Right.
so it will be, because we used to all be in baseball pretty heavily. Definitely when Tigers were good, and then we
Right.
kind of just fallen off as they kind of fell off. So now we're all wanting to get back into it, and
Right.
but
I think something that would help, especially with all these streaming services, is just have like some different camera angles, right? Put
yeah.
a camera on the catcher. Put a camera on the hitter. You know what
On
I
the
mean? Have a
ump.
dugout cam.
You notice how like
do they have
I
one
feel
on the ump?
I think they're working on it, but not yet.
I feel like NBA's done better the last few years of different camera angles, like some
Right.
of like the high, like even the
Well-
NFL with like some of that high quality shit. I don't know what it's
Well,
called. but,
the
like, when you remember
the
Aaron
sky
Donald
the
was, like,
sky
a video-
cam or whatever that
yeah, and
moves.
the sky cam. So yeah, I think baseball if they did something like that, it'd be cool.
Right, like a dugout cam, I think would be sick. Just hearing
Yeah.
the players talk. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough though. With
Yeah.
such an old game, but
Yeah, it's like you don't want to change too much to push out that old crowd, but at the
Right.
same time,
You have
gotta
to
start
change.
recycling some
Yeah.
of these kids.
That's
Yeah.
like we were talking about. I always go back to fucking golf. Sorry, but the Phoenix Open,
Yeah.
Oh, what a
insane.
riot, yeah.
And then you go to the Genesis Open or the Genesis, which is like super classy.
Right, gotta wear
Like
a suit.
yeah, literally, and it's just it's
Right.
so weird.
So, all right, well we'll swing over.
Good talk though. That was good.
Since Caleb
Most
keeps
baseball
talking,
talk the show's seen in a while.
Most I've talked about baseball.
we'll switch over to Caleb Sport.
There we go.
All right. So, start off. We're going back to Saudi Arabia League. I don't know if you. I know we talked about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Phil
Ooh.
is not in a good place. right
Canceled.
now. Yeah. Like he's been going off. Players are hating him.
Do you
People.
think the way
He just
he's
lost his
acting,
sponsorship, too.
He did.
the way he's acting, he's got to be like broke.
Yeah, like this guy's been playing for how long? You think
Well,
he can't be hurting?
I don't.
So they estimated it based on his winnings and everything. Some different podcasts I was listening to that was talking about it. That they estimate him to be right close to $5 billion he's made in his career
Right
play.
behind Tiger. I'm
Yeah.
sure he's.
I mean, a lot of people are like, so the Saudi Arabia League basically they're getting people they're offering a shit ton of money,
Mhm.
right? No matter who it is. And people are like, I don't think that's why Phil is kind of like backing him up. Like that's not.
Right.
He's backing him up because he wants change. Because the way the PGA Tour works with the media rights and all their rights, and how there's so many other. Obviously, there's a Corn Ferry Tour and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which they don't have media rights or anything. Really,
Right.
they do, but they barely show.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he just wants change of like, oh, let's have a players league basically where we actually have a say, which every sport does this,
Mhm.
right? It's just kind of the first time we've really seen it with golf,
Right.
and he's getting a lot of hate, but I think it's fine. I
Yeah.
think why what we said a couple weeks ago, like they can still play in the PGA Tour. Like the Saudi Arabia League's not forcing them to play in their events,
Well, yeah, like
They're
all,
just-
all the like
marketing it basically.
Right.
all the all the majors, they all get their own call. So, like if they signed up for the Saudi Arabia League and the PGA says nope, you can't play in the PGA's, all the majors are their own like entity. Yes,
Okay.
they PGA comes into them,
Right.
and they
But
follow
they
the
send out
PGA
the
rules.
Right.
But major's the one who gets to decide that all the those courses get to decide who's going to come and not. So basically, they could turn their fingers and say "f
But-
you" to the PGA and still let all those players play.
I mean, there's talks that they have at least 20 players that right now moving over.
Wow.
Bryson was heavily one of them, but he
I
kind
just
of
saw you, yeah.
he kind of tweeted something. He didn't officially say that he's not going,
Right.
but because he was targeted, like they offered him I don't remember the number. I said.
135.
Yeah,
I think,
yeah, that
135
sounds
mil.
right. And I think Phil's gonna go. There's some others I didn't write their names down. I think like Ian Porter, a lot of foreign guys,
Sure.
non-U.S. guys. But that's kind of. I mean, Greg Norman's the face of that. I don't know if you guys knew
Yes.
that.
Oh, the shark.
Yeah. So that's whether you like him or not, but
Yeah.
so that's just kind
No,
of.
I didn't realize like Saudis were planning on partnering up with like Trump and using a lot of Trump's courses.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people think that they're playing a full tour in Saudi Arabia,
Right.
which is not the case. They're gonna have
Right.
like one event there.
Yeah.
So,
Which would still be massive for him. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. And,
There's stupid amount of money over there.
Yeah.
but I think it'd be cool for golf. Like you said, we need change. It could be a more fun, different experience.
I think competition helps anyone.
I
You know
agree.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean, obviously the PGA Tour, the way it is, they're gonna have a strong player base no matter what.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's kind of the way I look at it, but I don't know if anybody else had anything else about that.
I was more looking at the winner.
But for the Genesis Open,
Yeah,
yeah. So I had.
I did not expect him.
So for my picks, I only had.
Fucking two of them.
So out of the top 10 players, though, DJ, because there's the top 10 players all played, and DJ was the only one who didn't make the cut, which is kind of surprising because DJ's a stud, yeah. But that was pretty cool. Top 3, Joaquin Nyman or whatever,
Oh yeah.
good player, good for him. But Colin Morikawa, which I had him in my top 5, so that was one bet that hit, and Cameron Young, who's also a young, solid stud. So
Did you profit at the end of the day? That's the big question.
No.
Is that even a question?
So what I picked on the podcast, no, but I did like other bets off the podcast, so I did.
Yeah.
But I mean, Colin
James right now.
Colin shot like 64, I think, the final day, and came back and almost won it or tied it up.
How much would you pay to have that dude's golf swing?
Collins,
Yeah.
I love Colin.
Dude, I'd pay
He's
something I
so-
wouldn't even want to win.
The cool thing is too, though, like he's not a long hitter. Like,
Right.
His carry's like 275,
It's
280.
pure though.
It can get up to 290, obviously, but when he's really going after it.
Mhm.
But and he's number 2 player in the world. Probably gonna be jumping to number 1 soon.
Mm-hmm. Who's number 1 right now?
John Rahm,
Okay.
which he's still playing well.
I was
Just
gonna say that dude's lights out too.
I don't know what else I had for that. So like I said, my only picks was Colin Morikawa and Rory had both top 10, and they both got top 10.
Nice.
So
Yep, I had Colin. I had Victor Hovland to get top 10. That hit. And I also had Colin for top 5, which hit.
Oh, you doubled it up.
Yeah.
Nice.
I did
okay.
5 and 10. So I also picked him as a winner, which that didn't obviously hit. But and then Patrick Cantley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had him winning.
Had him to win.
Where do you finish?
36, I think.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
I had a JT Poston to finish in the top 40, and I was watching. He had finished his, and he was inside the cut. So I'm like, okay, he's good. And then there was like he was just in that tier. He tied with a tier that didn't make it in.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, damn it! Like all you would have needed to do is make the cut, and you pretty much are almost in the top 40. You know, there's not a ton left that you have to beat. So, what do you think of the Honda Classic coming up?
You know, this one's kind of weird because, so it's at
The PGA National Resort.
PGA National, which is really well known. And it used to be like the headquarters, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's in Texas, but
Palm Beach
so we
Gardens,
go-
Florida.
we go from the Phoenix Open, 15 of the top 20 are playing, to this last week, top 10 players were playing.
Mm-hmm.
Now this week we only have like 7 of the top 20.
That's, I was looking
Now,
at
this
the
is a-
so spin, yeah.
So
But-
it's weird how the PGA works. I get it. You're killing
There's
yourself.
there's a bunch of that are coming up in Florida though, isn't there? A bunch of like tournaments that are coming in Florida. Like the next few, ain't they?
Yeah, they kind of went from like the West Coast. Well, they kind of go more, work their way.
Yeah.
Weather obviously is a big part of that,
Right.
but $8 million for the purse. Well, I mean that's a little lower than the last couple as well. So maybe that scares some people. I don't know. But
So looking at the course, the front 9, I mean, I guess the 9th hole looks a little, but the front 8 for sure don't look that bad, like to play.
no, I would assume there's gonna be some low scores. It's not too difficult.
Yeah, the back 9 is a little bit tougher. Probably holes 14 and starts to get a little bit more challenging. There was like a par 5 that I seen, and that might have been the 14th. I think that was like 520 some yards, and I'm like, damn, that's a long ways for a par 4.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy to see. Like even last week we were talking how tough that course was, and 19 under still won it.
Right.
Like that was the first tournament under 20.
Yeah.
For the 72 holes. So I'm like, it's just crazy how the PGA Tour, the courses are getting longer, and they're still just,
Right.
it's insane how good these guys are. But
I think
this week's gonna be really
overall, you're gonna have to be looking at this course. You're gonna have to be kind of more of a straight hitter. You're not necessarily gonna need. I mean, there's a couple holes where you need that long ball, but it looks very narrow. Looking at the pictures online and stuff, a lot of the holes kind of run back to back, along each other, like most courses. But there's not a lot in between them, so I think they narrowed the fairways and stuff a little bit. So I look for guys that are probably gonna be a little bit more straight off the tee box. Next circuit has a little bit more control versus guys that can hit bombs.
Yeah.
So with that being said, who do you have for winning?
so I'm gonna go through my top 20 first.
Okay, I have 3 for top 20.
I have 3 as well. So I got Brandon Hagee.
Hey, me too.
Plus 700
For top 20?
for top 20.
Whoa.
He's been playing pretty solid. He's a younger guy-ish, middle age. It's kind of my only reason. He's a pretty good ball striker. I mean, obviously all these guys are good ball strikers, but some of them are just a little different than others. I would say if he gets his putter rolling this week, which I think he's been struggling with the most, he'll be just fine. Wesley Bryan is kind of a bias.
Brian Bros.
Yeah,
Heck
because I mean he started out the first few events. He actually played okay. He made the cuts. Last week he did not make the cut. He played horrible. But I think it's kind of. I mean he is a good player, and I think he's going to sneak in the top 20 this
Has
week.
George been on his bag this year? His brother?
No,
No.
it's somebody else. He goes to all the events and records it for the
That's sick.
YouTube. But and that's what I mean. That's sweet too. I love how they do that, and I don't know how they're getting away
Yeah.
because I mean
PGA's pretty strict on like
PGA's
filming rights.
very strict. I don't know how they're getting away with him. I think he only records practice rounds though,
Oh, okay.
and then some just personal stuff throughout the week. And then Harry Higgs. I mean, kind of everybody's starting to know Harry Higgs. He's always a goofball.
When he took
He
his
took
shirt
his
off.
shirt
that was
off.
sick.
He's plus 500. So Wesley's plus 700. So all these are really good odds for top 20.
Yeah.
And Harry's actually a really good player. He just can't seem to get in the top 10 ever.
Mm-hmm.
Last week I think he made the cut, but I don't think he played too hot.
Mm-hmm.
Who are yours, Devin?
Well, I had Brandon, like you had Denny McCarthy and Hudson Swafford. Again, just guys that can kind of have decent ball control. So, that's kind of what I was looking for when I was looking at those.
I like Swaff.
I don't have any top 10s. Do you?
I do.
Well, who do you have top 10?
Bailey, you got any top 20s? I'm just kidding.
Nope.
This week's going to be a good week betting.
Hope so.
My top 10, Sam Ryder. He's the one that got the hole-in-one, if you guys remember.
Yep.
He's just continuing. I talk about ball striking. This guy's ball striking is just tee box a little sketchy, but chipping's pretty good, putting's decent. So, iron game is incredible.
Sam Ryder, you also can get for plus 400 for top 20. I don't know what you're getting for
plus 900 for top 10. And like last week, I think he was like 23rd. So he's just getting better and better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this week he's gonna finally get in that top 10.
Mm-hmm.
I have Brendan Todd plus 550. No really reason there. And then Aaron Wise he's been playing really well.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually have a prop bet for him at like plus 5,000 to be leading after day one.
Mm-hmm.
So $20 wins you $1,000, and that one's gonna hit. I have a good feeling. You have any top 10s? You said you didn't?
No, I have one top 5, and then I have a couple winners.
Okay.
My top 5 is a Taylor Moore. He's been playing pretty well, I think. I can't remember now. He was inside the top 20 last week, I'm pretty sure. And then again, just the way the course plays versus how his play style is, I could see him finishing inside the top 5.
I have 3 top 5s, I think.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Oh, no, 2 top 5s. You got top 5s?
Yep.
Let's hear them.
So my 3 are Daniel Berger, Tommy Fleetwood, Shane Lowry. I think just 3 guys who, I wouldn't say household names, but more known, especially in this field. And just guys that we haven't heard a ton from this year. I think just a good time for them to kind of pop off and do well. So those are my 3.
I mean, it's definitely time for Tommy. Like he's a really good player,
Exactly.
and he doesn't play. I feel like in every event like a lot of these other guys do. That's
Right.
kind of why he's kind of underlooked. I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's kind of time for him to. I could see him sneaking in winner spot here.
Right.
I have Louis Oosthuizen or whatever.
Yep.
I actually think he's gonna win this, but I just put him in top 5 just in case. He's plus 350. I have Tommy, and then just because he's one of my favorite players, Matthew Wolff.
I saw him on there. He's like plus 3,600 to win or something.
He's plus 500 for top 5, which isn't that great of odds for him because he's really so he came into her obviously, and he just took it by storm. Right, he's won his second event, I believe, took like top 5 his first event, and he was playing really well. And he's kind of had like a mental breakdown, and it was really bad. And I just think he needs to kind of just start proving himself that he's one of these top young guys like Victor Hovland.
Right.
And I think he's going to do that this week.
That's why it's so crazy. Like golf's such a mental game. You know what I mean? You're playing well, and you're just stroking it, and then you have a couple bad events or whatever, and you're out of it. It's crazy.
So mental.
Especially for a guy like him, who he's hearing it online, like, oh, your swing's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
You do this wrong. You do this wrong. It can wear on you, I'm sure. So.
I was watching Foreplay. They had Matt Duchene, who plays for the Predators, on there, and he was talking about how there's mental health like coaches or whatever, and he was saying like in golf, like obviously it's important, but he said like 99.9% of these people pay for these mental health.
Wow.
And he's like, it's like a guarantee for professional athletes starting to be. He's like, when he came in the league, he said his hockey team had like maybe 20% had one, and now he said they're up to like 95% of the team has them.
That's probably good.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, I think it's cool because I mean I'm not too much into like all this, but I mean it's a bad thing, right?
Obviously,
mental health and stuff, and I think it's cool to show like that these guys who people look up to are okay with getting help.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
I know it's kind of cheesy, but
no,
sure,
I agree with you 100%.
So that's all I had for top 5s. My winner, I got quite a few winners, but my actual winner that I actually bet on is Billy Horschel. He hasn't missed a cut since the U.S. Open.
Namesake.
He's taken top 20 every event. He just came off tied for 6th. He led the field in green and regulation last week. So I mean, he's striking the ball well. His only problem is his putter was horrible. So if he gets the ball rolling here,
dialed.
He's dialed.
Yeah,
He's plus 1,800 to win as well. So pretty good odds for him. My sneaky winner is Patrick Reed.
Ugh.
I hate Patrick.
Hopefully not.
I absolutely hate Patrick Reed, but he could sneak in there. And then Keith Mitchell. The only reason I put him on because a lot of people on social media have him winning. A lot of experts have him winning. So
yeah,
that means he won't.
Plus 3,500.
Oh, that's a steal though. Just
yeah.
$10 on it, you're good.
And I already told you my prop bet with Aaron Wise leading round 1 at plus 5,000.
So you had 2 of my winners, or my 2 winners, Keith Mitchell and Billy Horschel. Yeah.
Those are your 2 winners.
Yeah. Keith again, yeah, just looking around, everyone's hyped on him.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I mean, I
for
couldn't
plus
find-
3,500, why not throw, you know,
I
a
couldn't
little bit
find
on
like
it?
any
So.
information. Like I was looking, I was like, because I don't know him too well, and I'm just like, why are people
What's
like?
the bid on this guy?
Yeah, and he's like, he hasn't been playing that great. I mean, he's young, and there was no like explanation on why these experts like were taking him.
Mhm.
I'm like, what the heck?
Throw you off. That's why.
Oh,
I think it was just like for the odds. People were just like,
Right,
it's a
it's a
chance.
steal
Let's,
at that point,
right,
yeah.
let's take a chance. Billy was obviously the things I listed. He's been playing. He's top 20 finishes in the last 3 events. I mean, like I said, everything but putting has just been killing or been helping him. So that's why I chose him.
Uh,
A lot of money getting made this week in golf.
hopefully.
We'll see.
I need to buy a new launch monitor.
Oh, goodness. Yes, well, at least you got a little cash from selling your other one, so.
Yeah, that's a pretty good chunk of it.
God.
I think that's all I have for golf. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Masters coming up pretty soon.
April. That'll be a
Yeah.
good time.
That's always fun. I found out today. It's kind of fun fact, kind of not fun fact. A lot of people probably know this, but you're not allowed to have a phone at the Masters.
Yes.
I did not know that.
If they see anything posted, they're like crazy about
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Which is just. And I found out. I might have said this last week that PGA members get in for free.
I think I did remember hearing.
So you're getting in for free?
Yeah, Brian and I are gonna go probably next year.
Why not this year?
Yeah, I don't want to be able to get the time off.
Just tell Brian, hey, I'm going to be sick these few days.
I'm not working.
I was gonna
Oh.
say that ain't even a job anymore.
Just call into sick. They don't know me yet. As long as they don't see a video of you standing out cheering.
They can't. Oh, I guess on TV.
Yeah, on TV.
Cabby's out there just fucking
Going
plastered
nuts.
on
Yeah.
that tree.
That sounds like Cabby. though.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. He's going to be the next one with his shirt off, waving it around.
Yeah, you get kicked out instantly. from that.
Yeah, you'd be
And banned for
plastered.
life.
Yeah.
You know, never
Yeah.
welcome back.
Probably lose your your
Easily.
PGA. Yeah.
Easily. Blackballed from anywhere.
Yeah.
It was worth it though.
I just can't believe they don't allow phones. I mean, I get it, but
Right.
Cabby's gonna
we
be
need
lost.
change.
Yeah.
So what are you
I
changing
love-
in golf
I
then?
love the Phoenix Open. I think I do like though how some events are.
Sure.
Almost all of them are the classy.
Yeah.
Regular.
Maybe leave the 4 majors and then the rest kind of just have a good time
Exactly, which I think it's kind of
working
starting
that way.
Yeah.
At least
And-
throw in like a hole like what they did.
I mean, I'm a huge
Right.
believer
Party
in.
hole or something.
Obviously, I'm huge into let's go with our hats backwards, shirts untucked.
Sure.
You know, I mean, obviously, certain places you can. If you're at a private club,
Right.
you know.
Was it Garrett or who was it that has the cut-off collar that they stick under?
Like a dickie or something.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't know.
I thought maybe it was Garrett, maybe it's someone else, but yeah, they had cut off like the collar part, so they throw the collar on and then throw a T-shirt over top of it. So most time the collar hangs just where you can't see the line of the T-shirt, so it looks like a black polo, but it's really a T-shirt.
Wow.
So
Like
I
the
should do that with one of my cutoffs.
I mean, you got. I mean, it's obviously to talk everybody. Like, golf is expensive, right?
Oh, yeah.
So how do we get these kids who don't have money to buy clubs, to buy nice clothing? You
Right.
know what I mean? So we just have to start, which most public courses are now.
Right.
Not
Barrier
having
to
it-
entry, yeah.
Not
for
having
sure.
restrictions. You can normally get clubs really cheap now, or
Mhm.
a lot of courses have them.
well, and like a
So-
lot of club are like doing like the trade in,
Mhm.
where you trade in your clubs, they give you a discount to buy new clubs
I
and
think
stuff like that.
I think it's stupid to charge rental fees for clubs. In my opinion, I get it, but every course I've been, we charge rental fees. But I would rather give us something for collateral damage or whatever,
Right.
and or like a driver's license.
Yeah,
or
just pay a
something.
deposit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give me
deposit.
$10, you bring the
Yeah.
clothes back solid, you get your $10
Or you
back.
get
Well-
credit for something in the shop. That's a good idea too.
Yeah.
Then yeah, now they're turning on
Because you know how
spending the
many
money in the
people
shop.
needs clubs at the shop. Because some courses you have to have your own bag, right?
Okay.
Which is that's also very stupid. But you know how many people come and say I need clubs? I'm like, yeah, it's like $15, $25 depending on if you're playing 9 or 18.
Right.
And they're just like, fuck that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like, well, sorry.
Yeah, not my rule.
But,
Yeah. I just get it worked here. I don't make the rules.
yeah. Oh, that's the worst in golf.
Right.
People are not nice.
Especially Caleb, dude. Fuck.
Oh, I saw Cavi go after a ranger one time at a golf course. It was a good time, yeah.
That's another thing to change golf. We were in a 5, or we were in
6 'em.
6 some.
Right.
You know, 4s, like you have to be in 4 almost every course, right?
Right.
And obviously, if it's slow, you have to play in 4 sums. You know what I mean? You can't hold people up
Mhm.
or let people through. And but it just makes it way more enjoyable having 5-6 guys. You're having fun. Like our bachelor party, there's nobody within like an hour and a half behind us.
If anything, we were catching the group in front of us.
We were
playing
because there were some girls and. No,
well, it doesn't matter what gender they were.
Yeah, exactly. They were just,
it's 2022.
they were a slow group, and that's
they don't identify it.
That's another thing to change. So, I don't know if I'll ever end up at a private club, but I almost did.
I was gonna say, man, you say that and you almost jumped ship.
That one was a little different though, because it was super
like a dream game.
You had to wear like a collar, but you could show up shirt untucked, shorts.
Right.
I don't know
yeah, that's 90% of the time how I show up to a golf course.
Drunk, right?
Yeah.
Or at least.
At least started. Yeah, at least started.
Pre-game. Too hard.
Golf's getting there, but still a lot of work.
There's only been a couple times I went too hard at a golf course.
Oh, I know Austin Dakota pretty bad. Especially Colton, dude. Colton,
you know it's
every time I see you guys out there.
If I go in and order dinner, that means I got drunk on the course. I need to soak it up a little to be able before I drive home. So.
I'd be like James Smith and roll the card on me.
No. I
Dude,
remember that.
Yeah, you have.
Hilarious.
No.
Dude, we talked about it on the
Bailey was
podcast.
on our team, yeah.
Was that Brookside?
No, Falconhead.
Oh.
And
It
we were
was
at-
sketchy.
We were in like the wrestling scramble, had it there, like
Okay.
the wrestling scramble, and it's I don't know if you ever played there. You
Oh, yeah,
you've
once.
played there, so they have like that par 3 that's straight downhill.
Yes.
And he's going pretty fast, which it was. Yeah, and he's like, oh shit, I'm going too fast, and slams on the brakes. I'm like, gee, but luckily it landed on him, but yeah, we went sliding down. Gas went everywhere. He had like scratches, and the gas got in it on his ass, and he was freaking. The worst part was like we had boxed lunches, and like we got the cart. Another group came around and flipped it up. We're like, oh, we're good. And I went to go like bite my cookie.
Gasoline.
Straight gasoline. You remember that, Bailey?
Yeah, I do.
Jeez, only
And
Jimmy, right?
here I am behind them. Like, I'm not in front of them. I'm behind them. They're
Did you see
leading
the whole
us.
thing?
And all of a sudden, they slam on the brakes. Fucking shit whip it and just flips on them. Cavi's over here, like, hitting the roof and stuff. Dude, I'm like, oh, Cavi's pissed.
When was this?
It's
This was
I was gonna say high school.
Yeah, it was a while.
Yeah, because didn't James end up to pay for the car pretty much?
There was like
Yeah,
no
that's
scratches, nothing. There was like this little tiny thing on the bottom that just like started coming off, and the dude at Falcon was a dick.
Yeah.
Pro there, and he was like, James, can I talk to you? James was like, okay. He's like, you flip a cart, and James was like, maybe. And he's like,
Who's that?
yeah. He's like, let me come show you what you did, and you got paid for it. And James was like, James was like, okay. The dude charged him like $60, I think, for this little like. I was like, come on.
Right.
God. I'm
I
sure.
get it. As a pro, I absolutely hate fucking drunks, but
Right.
James was not drunk
Right.
at that time.
No.
At that
It
time.
was fucking funny.
It's like, so Riverwood just we got all new fleet of carts with the GPSs and stuff
Heck yeah.
coming, and we're like public. We're like a Brookside, but nicer.
Right.
A lot nicer, of course, but I mean, we're like under $50 for 18 holes, and we get so many college kids, drunks and stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know if that was the move to get.
Is the Pines getting them too?
Yeah.
Heck yeah, I did.
Pines, I heard he's getting really nice.
Dude.
So
Didn't Riverwood buy him, you said?
yeah.
That's sick.
So I'm pretty pumped to play both courses.
No, they're a good time, dude. We'll have to go.
Well, I think that kind of wraps up golf talk. Like, I'm ready for.
We are.
Yeah. Well, kind of live,
Oh,
kind of.
we're not live, yeah.
Anything else you guys want to add? No.
I know I saw Hardball sign that 5-year extension or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah, 5-year extension. So doesn't it take him up to like 7 years total? Like if he runs it for the whole time? Because I thought he had 2 years still left on his current deal, and so I think he did a 5-year extension, so it's 7 years. I kind of thought that was interesting and maybe it was because of I knew one of the reasons he's going and looking at NFLs was because of like they dropped up to his amount when he signed
Right.
his last deal because of not winning a bunch, and now that he won, he's probably like, well, I can probably go make more money now while almost getting you guys to the
Well,
championship. And
what's crazy is the fan. I know we'll talk about this Friday probably, but the fan base for Michigan, like everybody wanted him out, right?
Yep.
And soon as though he had the successful season, you don't hear it at all. I mean, that's what winning does, but
Right.
like,
It's
come on,
It's how every single fan base though is. Maybe not Cleveland,
Right.
but but I mean,
So-
our whole fan base has just been if we're doing good, we're super into it. If we
Right.
suck, dude, we just want fucking
Roller
everything to
coaster.
change.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with him continuing his 2 years and then offering, but this.
Yeah.
If we have him for another 7 years, I don't think
Well,
we'll win in another.
I think though this helps out to the player base because the players
Sure.
like to see commitment. Because as
Sure.
soon as I started seeing those rumors, I saw so many like top players wanting to fucking transfer out of there.
Right.
And then too, obviously, I think he helps the recruiting class because all his NFL connections that I'm sure he still has.
Yeah.
And Michigan always has been producing, you know, NFL ready players. So I mean, and plus too, they do have a pretty decent team coming up. I mean, they're pretty young, but I still think they'll be
It'll be
decent.
interesting.
Yeah.
Offense should be good.
All right. Well, peace out till next time.